In our first two videos in this camera training series, we've discussed the camera, its different parts, and most of the functions that let you control the camera creatively. In this video, we're going to concentrate solely on recording audio with the Panasonic. Recording audio correctly during a video shoot is essential. Most of the video projects you do at school will require you to have the audio recorded at the time you do the shoot. Imagine taping a crucial interview without getting good sound, or worse, no sound at all. Believe me, you wouldn't be the first one who's done this. Now, under the right circumstances, you could lose your job for such a mistake. It's imperative that you have a real understanding of how to record audio. If you have any questions about working the audio functions on the Panasonic after this video, make sure you ask your instructor for clarification. Remember, you can always watch this video as many times as you need till you have a grasp of all the procedures.
In this video, we will discuss the audio recording functions of the Panasonic AG-AC 90AP, as well as taking the opportunity to show you some of the audio equipment you'll need to check out with the camera to record good sound. We start today with the equipment that's required to get sound into the camera. We begin with the microphone. Here we have two microphones, a handheld mic and a lavalier microphone. The lavalier, or lav mic as it is sometimes referred to, is worn on the tie or lapel of talent's jackets. A microphone, or mic, is a transducer. The sound we hear is transmitted as a pressure wave. The mic converts that pressure wave into a weak electrical signal. For future reference, that weak signal is called mic level. The signal typically travels through a cable to the camera. The audio cable, or XLR cable, is a 3-pinned cable with both male and female ends. The female end is attached to the microphone, while the male end is connected to the camera. The mic level signal travels into the camera via audio inputs 1 or 2. In this very simplistic graphic, the airwave pressure is converted into a very weak mic level signal. That signal then travels via the XLR cable to the camera. The signal then passes through the preamp, where it is boosted about 1,000 times to a line level signal. The new boosted signal is captured into a storage device, in this case, an SD card. Being able to distinguish the two types of signals is important, because as the operator of the camera, it is up to you to decide whether the signal going into the camera's inputs are mic or line. Let's take a look at the audio inputs on the Panasonic. The inputs are located on the handle on the front right. As we look at the inputs, you'll notice that they are numbered 1 and 2. Directly across from the inputs, on the left front of the handle, is a compartment with a smoke plastic cover that contains the mic line switches, as well as the mic power switches for each of the two inputs. To make this easier to understand, let's look at an example of a student doing a stand-up in front of the camera. Our student is using a handheld mic to record their package audio. The mic is, in turn, connected to the XLR cable, which is plugged in to input number 2. The student needs to decide which signal will be coming from the mic. Is it mic or line? In this case, the signal is at mic level, because it hasn't been amplified by the preamp. It should appear to you that the switches from both inputs should always be in the mic position. For the most part, this is correct. So in what circumstance would you move the switch to the line position? Let's say you're going to the club to shoot a live band. To get the best audio, you'd want to get the mix coming directly from the band's board. Their sound guy gives you two XLR cables, one for the left channel and one for the right. The signal coming from the board is already amplified by the board's preamp, and to amplify it again would create a distorted signal, or an overmodulated signal. In this example, you would move each of the switches to line to disengage the preamp. A question that you might have right now is, why did our student choose input number 2? The rationale for this choice is better understood if we look at the audio control compartment on the left side of the camera. This compartment is also protected with a smoke plastic cover. When you open up the cover, you'll expose the channel 1 and channel 2 controls. Traditionally, and by default, channel 1 is the left channel and channel 2 is the right channel. Each channel has an option switch and a volume control knob. Let's begin with channel 1 on the top. Channel 1 has 3 choices from which to choose. INT. Selecting this would capture audio from the internal mic to the left channel. You'd pick this option if you were going to use the onboard mics located at the front of the camera handle. Although the built-in microphones are relatively good mics, they'll never give you the same control or quality as a handheld or lavalier mic. The next choice for the switches is input 1. Selecting this would allow you to capture audio from whatever mic was plugged into this input onto channel 1. The next choice is input 2. Like the last option, this would allow you to capture audio from a mic plugged to that input. So channel 1 has 3 options: internal mics, input 1, or input 2. As we look at the options for channel 2, the right channel, you'll see that you only have 2 options: internal right or input 2. What this means is, if you are using 2 mics, one needs to be placed in input 1 and recorded to the left channel, channel 1, while the second mic is placed into input 2 and captured to the right channel, channel 2. This configuration is the only one that will work with 2 mics. The converse of this is that if you're using a single mic, like the student in our example, she plugs her mic cable into input 2 and switches both channels to input 2. Using these options will allow her to record her audio on both channels at once. Her choice to use input 2 wasn't random, but was well thought out and calculated. You will also see that both of these channels have a volume knob. Each of the school's cameras has been configured to have the audio volume levels be monitored by AGC, or Automatic Gain Control. AGC will make sure audio volume is kept within proper limits. Turn each knob to the 12 o'clock position and leave them there. Although AGC does all the heavy work with audio volume, it is necessary that you'll always wear headphones to monitor the quality of the audio. The one time you forget or choose not to listen to your signal is the one time something will go wrong. In the case of shooting backpacking style, test the mic while wearing your headphones, and when you're satisfied that there are no issues, do your stand-up. Make sure that as soon as you're finished, and before you break down your gear, you review the footage, particularly your audio. If there's a problem, you're right there to do it again. At this point, we've covered almost everything you need to know about recording high-quality audio, with one exception. If we circle back around the mic line switch panel on the camera's handle, you'll notice 2 additional switches for each input. These are labeled plus 48V. Plus 48V stands for 48 volts. 48 volts, or phantom power, as it is sometimes referred to, is the power necessary to power a microphone that doesn't have its own power source. Most of the microphones at the school require that you turn this option on for them to work. For our mics, it is okay to leave the switch on the on position all the time. One word of caution here: if you ever find yourself in the position of using someone's personal mic, do not assume their mic needs phantom power. Always ask. Very expensive mics can sometimes be damaged beyond repair if phantom power is inadvertently supplied. Always ask before plugging a mic into the camera.
Recording good audio may seem complicated now, but in reality, it's straightforward to learn. Like most of the skills you learn here at school, practice makes perfect. So don't be afraid to ask your instructor to clarify any concepts that you don't fully understand. Audio equipment like cable microphones and boom mics are relatively delicate and can be easily damaged. Please take care when using any of these items. Now finally, having a good understanding of how to properly wrap XLR cables and dress a lavalier mic show professionalism and are noticed by individuals in our industry. Your instructor will show you how to do these simple procedures that will set you apart from the rest.